All right, Dolphins, you're sick of being told you're no good, sick of having people throw your schedule in your face, sick of being told you can't run with the big boys? Now's the time. Let's see something. Before we get into today's video, guys, I just want to give a special shout out to today's sponsors, starting with Goldfine and Bowles, Lawyers for the Injured. Personal injury, workers' compensation, those are their two things, but any sort of legal advice, they're the people to call. Give them a phone call, 309-673-5144. Tell them we sent you, okay? And I'd also like to shout out SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video as well. Use promo code PlaybookSports on their website to get $20 off your first purchase of $30 or more. Let's get back to the video. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Playbook Sports Podcast and to another week of Miami Dolphins preview. This week, it's a big one. Miami Dolphins, Sunday Night Football, traveling to Philly to take on the 5-1 Philadelphia Eagles. Both teams, like I said, 5-1. Dolphins coming off of, honestly, two cupcake home games against the Giants and Carolina Panthers. Neither team is any good, and Miami, yes, started slow against Carolina, outscored them 42-7, and did what you're supposed to do to bad teams. It's almost like there's no winning in these games, right? Because you kick the shit out of them like the Dolphins did. It doesn't matter. That team's bad. You win a close game against them, like the Bills-Giants, for example, and everyone's like, oh my God, you barely beat that terrible team. What's wrong with you? Or like I said, God forbid you lose to that team, then everyone's just destroying you. So there's no winning in a game like that. Except Dolphins did win 5-1 to start the year. Very happy with that. Eagles, also an easy start. I'm sick of, let's talk about the Dolphins schedule. The Eagles haven't played anybody any good either. The best team that they've played is the Jets, and they just lost. And the Jets were missing their top three corners. And the Jets are not a very good football team. They're 3-3. They're led by Zach Wilson. Their defense is fantastic. This isn't a Jets video. But Eagles, very easy start. Struggled against the Jets last week, taking their first loss. Hurts, kind of an uglier game. So both teams, 5-1. Both teams have a reason to really want this win. People doubting the Eagles a little bit. Eagles haven't looked good in any of their wins so far this year. Dolphins have beat up on bad teams, which is what you should do. Let's not get it twisted. And also, a lot of people had the Chargers going pretty far this year. Just so happens they have started out a little slow. Let's dive into this week's injury report that I will post on the screen for you all here. For Miami, the only player ruled out as of the Friday injury report is Jalen Ramsey, who we assumed wouldn't play anyways. Hopefully he's back for the Chiefs game. I think that's really the goal. The big one in the limiteds, we've got Xavier Howard limited. He has come out and said, I'm good, I'm going. So X will be out there. He is listed as questionable. And then Connor Williams limited. So are we going to be riding the Eichenberg Express again? It's very possible. That's scary, and we'll get into that a little bit more here shortly. For the Philadelphia Eagles, only two players carry injury designations going into this game, and they're both out. Reed Blankenship, starting safety, and Bradley Roby. I want to say he's their starting slot corner. They still have Bradbury and Slay on the outside. Yeah, I want to say Bradley Roby's their starting slot. Josh Jobe will be stepping in for him, and then Sidney Brown, rookie out of Illinois, who I was high on in the draft process, will be getting his first start as well. So both teams coming in a little bit banged up. Obviously, we aren't talking about players on IR for Miami like Armstead, Nachin, and we're not going to talk about anybody on IR for Philadelphia. So that's our injury report for this game. Let's go ahead and move into kind of just looking at these two teams. Let's look at the tail of the tape here. So I've got a pretty good little stat comparison here that I'm going to pull up. So looking at these two teams and how they compare, these are two good teams. Total offense, Miami obviously number one. Miami's averaging 498.7 yards a game. That's insane. First in the NFL by 103.7 yards, because Philadelphia is second place in the NFL in total offense, 395, a full 103 yards less than Miami averages a game. And what comes with that, obviously, is Miami has the number one passing offense and number one rushing offense. Philadelphia, number 9 passing offense, number 2 rushing offense, so they can still run the ball. We all figured they would. Miami averages 37.2 points a game, and the Eagles are averaging about 26, just shy of 26 points a game. So both of these offenses can move the ball. Miami only allowing 6 sacks through 6 weeks, and 4 of them coming against Buffalo. That's huge. Tied for second in the NFL for fewest, and then Philadelphia has had 14 sacks, which is tied for 12th. Third down offense. Philadelphia converts at a 50% clip on third down. That's unbelievable. Miami, though, pretty good, 44.1%. Miami's good for 7th, and obviously Philly at 50% is at first. Defensively is where you see a little bit more of a difference here, and I don't I'm hoping Vic Fangio's got something cooked up for this game. I really am. I'm really relying on Vic Fangio to get rolling here. He knows this Philadelphia team. But defensively, just real quickly, Miami's 20th in total defense. Eagles are 9th. I will say passing defense for the Eagles is worse than Miami's. They are giving up on average 232 passing yards a game, and Miami's giving up 229, so 19th and 20th. Both super close. It's just the rushing defense where the Eagles are great, which makes up for a fun matchup because the Eagles are second in rushing defense, only allowing about 66 yards a game on the ground. Miami, number one in rushing offense, averaging 181. Something's got to give here. As far as scoring goes, they're both not fantastic. Philly's 16th, giving up about 21, and Miami's 26th, giving up 26. Both teams top 5 in sacks. Third down defense for both teams leave a little to be desired. And then takeaways, turnovers, kind of even. I will say Philly's a little better. 12th in takeaways, 20th in giveaways. Miami is tied in giveaways at 20th, and then takeaways, they have taken the ball away 5 times, so they're 22nd. So it's a good game. It's a great game. This is one of the best games of the day. We talked about it on the podcast, how each slate has a good game in it. The noon games, we've got Baltimore and Detroit. The 3 o'clock games, we've got Kansas City and Vegas. Kansas City and the Chargers, Jesus. And then we've got the Sunday night game, which should be a good one as well. So let's talk X factors for this game. I'm going basic for the first time when it comes to the X factors on offense. I'm going to tell you it's the 2 quarterbacks in this game, Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts, former teammates. Seem like they're pretty good friends. 2 Alabama quarterbacks. Yeah, Hurts went to Oklahoma for a year and was really good. But these 2 grew up together in the same quarterback room with Mac Jones. Tua, let's start on him. Whether you love him or hate him, and whether you want to believe this or not, the statistics will tell you he has played like an MVP caliber quarterback this year. Sorry, Stephen A. I don't know what you're talking about. 2-yard passes to Tyreek Hill. Tyreek averages 12 yards, average depth of target. I don't know what you're talking about. You're spewing nonsense. As you're saying that, the clips behind you are Tua throwing deep balls. What are you even talking about? Think before you speak, please. It's frustrating. Tua's stats on the year, 1,876 yards through 6 games, over 300 yards a game, 14 touchdowns, 5 picks. The stats are facts. They're undeniable statistics. They're undeniable. Philadelphia, like I said, 20th in pass defense, missing a starting safety. That's big. So we need Tua to ball out, plain and simple. Jalen Hurts started this year a lot slower than last year. Last year, they came out hot, last undefeated team. This year, Jalen Hurts so far through 6 games, 1,542 yards, 7 touchdowns, 7 picks. He does have 3 rushing touchdowns as well, so a total of 10 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Not great numbers yet, and I feel like every Eagles game I'm left wanting just a little more. Like, wow, you just barely won. You barely won that game. What happened? Why are you not closing these teams out? I've said it all year. I just don't think the Eagles are clicking yet. Will it start to click this week? I hope not. And Miami's pass defense is 19th, so Hurts is definitely going to look to get the ball to his playmakers early. Get the ball to A.J. Brown, who's been on an absolute tear. Get the ball to Devontae Smith, DeAndre Swift, Dallas Goedert. They've got the skill position guys. It just can Hurts get it done. Whichever former Alabama quarterback plays better is going to win this game because the team outside of that, they're pretty level rosters, I would say. Defensively, X factor for Miami's defense. Give me Javon Holland, starting safety. Leads the team in solo tackles, second in overall tackles, and I think he's going to play a lot of that spy role against Jalen Hurts like he did last year against Josh Allen. If Hurts is going to try and get out of the pocket, it's going to be on Javon Holland to step up and contain him and to bring him down. That's our best bet. If it's not him, it'll be Deshaun Elliott, but either way, Javon Holland is probably the captain of this defense, in my opinion. He should be if he isn't. He's going to be calling out everything. We need him to absolutely ball out and to continue to play at the all-pro level he has played all season. Need him to continue. Need that communication to be great on the back end. As far as the Eagles go, I'm going with rookie defensive tackle Jalen Carter. Back from injury. Miami Dolphins, very likely no Connor Williams. So it's going to be Jalen Carter against Liam Eichenberg. And if that doesn't make you throw up a little bit in your mouth, I don't know what does. Against Buffalo, Liam Eichenberg got bullied by Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones, defensive tackles for Buffalo. Jalen Carter's just as good as both of those guys, if not better, already. Jalen Carter has the ability to completely wreck the Miami Dolphins' offensive game plan and their offense in general if he pushes the pocket from the middle and just bullies Liam Eichenberg. We need to help. He's got to be doubled. Center and guard. We need to double him all game long and just hope our tackles hold up against their edge rushers because if we let Jalen Carter push the pocket from the middle, it's it is over. If he is getting pressure by going right up the gut, our passing game up the middle, everything is ruined. We have to move him. Jalen Carter has game-wrecking potential. Eichenberg, you can't let it happen, buddy. I know that's a tall task, but you did great last week. I need you to do it again, please. Let's talk about 5 keys to a Miami Dolphins victory on Sunday Night Football. Number 1 is keep number 1 up. Let's protect Tua. Like I said, Bills beat us by rushing 4 and dropping 7. Hard to play offense when they can rush 4 and get home consistently, because then you're passing against 7 guys and you've got maybe 3, maybe 4 running routes. That's a numbers game. It's a simple numbers game. If they can beat your 5 offensive linemen with 4 defensive linemen, you're screwed, pal. So we've got to keep Tua upright and let this passing game, that's where the game will be won. Let's just call it what it is our offensive line versus their defensive line. If they hold up, if our offensive line holds up and we can pass the ball against their depleted, injured, and not so great secondary this year, we're in business. But if we can't hold up and they're getting home immediately, we are in trouble. Keep Tua up. Number 2, start fast. Yes, last week was classic trap game material. You cannot start against Philadelphia how you started against Carolina, asleep. 14-0 to Philadelphia, pack the bags, warm up the buses, game's over. Because they can run the ball as well as just about anybody except us based on yardage. And if they get a lead, they will just milk that clock and dominate time of possession. There will be no 14-point comeback in the Miami Dolphins cards this weekend if it gets to that deficit. Need to score on most of our positions. Need to come out and start fast. Number 3, defensive line domination. The Eagles' offense is obviously run first based on all of the stats I gave to you earlier. Christian Wilkins and the boys, if they can stop the run and make the Eagles one-dimensional, which is exactly what the Jets did, we've got a good chance in this one. That will be key. It'll be a huge advantage for us. If we can get them into long second downs, long third downs, where you know they're going to pass it, drop a safety to play a spy, take out one of our middle linebackers and put a Deshaun Elliott at middle linebacker, put a safety down there and have him just spy and follow Jalen Hurts. I would love to see us do that. If we get them, and then release the hounds. Let Jalen Phillips, Andrew Van Ginkel, and Bradley Chubb go hunt down Jalen Hurts. We need to dominate up front. They have a very good offensive line. That is another matchup. This game is won in the trenches this weekend. It is absolutely going to be won in the trenches. Defensive line needs to dominate. Number 4, Tyreek. Please give the ball to Tyreek Hill tomorrow, or whenever, Sunday Night Football, because he is the most dangerous man on a football field on the entire planet. Ball in his hands, look out, because he's a home run hitter, just ready to go. I don't care how you do it either. Give it to him on go routes, option routes, hitches, slants. Just give him the ball and let him do his thing. Tyreek Hill needs to cross the 1,000-yard threshold in this game. I'm telling you right now, he needs to push for close to 200 yards for the Dolphins to pull this one off. Jalen Waddle has not been as great this year because Tyreek's getting all the targets, and that's okay. That's what it's for. Tyreek is the man. Let's make him the man, give him the ball, and I want 10 receptions, at least 10 receptions, 15 targets minimum, and I like that because there's nobody on that defense that can keep up with him. Good luck. And number 5, as it is every single week, run the damn ball. We are averaging 181 yards a game on the ground. Please don't go away from it. I don't care that the bright lights are on us. We don't need to change anything. Run the ball. It's worked. Carolina, if they have one good thing about them, it's Derek Brown and Brian Burns. They've got a good defensive line, and Raheem Mostert ran it right down their throats all day long. And so did Chris Brooks. It's going to be sad to miss him, but Jeff Wilson's activated, so he'll step right in. We need to run the ball, control the time of possession, control the line of scrimmage, and grind down their defense. I would love to have Devon Achane in this game, man, because his game-breaking speed would be huge. But again, win up front and dominate with the run game and win this football game. That's the key. And those are the 5 keys to a Miami Dolphins victory on Sunday Night Football. Final score prediction. This one was tough. I've thought about this one a lot. Right now the line is Philly -3. They give 3 to the home team, so essentially it's 0-0. It's a pick-em. They're calling these teams equal. Although ESPN's FPI, which is Football Power Index, has Miami as a decent favorite, 58% to 42%. Do with that information what you will. My final score prediction for this game is 35-31. Miami Dolphins victory. Come on, guys. Let's shut everybody up this week. Let's go out there and show them, yeah, not only can we play with the big boys, we can play with the big boys on their fucking field. Because that's what you're going to have to do. Unless you get the 1 seed, you're going somewhere. You're going to another team's house in the playoffs in any of these crucial games. Let's just do it right now. This week, let's shut everybody up. I've had enough. I'm finished with listening to, well, Miami hasn't really played anybody and the Bills kicked their asses. The Bills have dominated us for years, okay? This is nothing new here. We should win this game. We are the most explosive offense in the NFL. They're missing starters. We just need to put it together. Bright lights, I don't care. You want this. This is what you want. This is why, Dolphins, you're charging more money for season tickets next year. I don't have them, but that's pretty crappy to raise them up that much right now. But whatever. Win this game and fine. We'll call it even. Come on, Miami. Let's go. That's all I got for you guys on this one. Fins up. It's going to be a wild game. We'll check out the TikTok. I'll have stuff coming out probably all game because I'll be an absolute wreck. Let's have an awesome Sunday and fins up.